Hey, it's Ox from Dry Fire Training Cards, an upgraded shooter, and I've got a drill for you today that's from Dry Fire Training Cards called Four Corners. And basically what it is a drill to move around a box of barriers while engaging a target. And as we've talked about before, the way that you want to look at the relationship between dry fire and live fire is you do live fire to get an assessment of where you're at. You do the heavy lifting of practice and skill refinement with dry fire, and then you come back and you reassess with live fire. Well, there's an intermediate that you can do, and that's using UTM rounds or a pellet pistol or airsoft. And that will give you some recoil. It will give you a lot of the benefit of live fire without the hassles of going to a range and doing traditional live fire. So what we're going to do is I'm going to run through and demonstrate it once at a medium pace and then go through and do it at a faster pace. I'm going to run out of ammo. I've got my spare mag in my front pocket, which is where I keep it all the time. So it'll be a reload from my pocket, which is significantly slower than a reload from a mag holder. But let's do it. All right, so that was at a decent pace, not incredibly fast. You'll notice I purposely did not do a silly scan at the end. And a silly scan is where you get done shooting and you do a silly scan, or as Teddy Gunn Whitlock calls it, a tactical head bob. And I did not do that because you shouldn't do that. If you're going to have your pistol pointed downrange at your target and do a scan behind you to make sure that there aren't any additional threats, what you want to do is look for specific things. If you see a person, you want to look at their hands, you want to look at their face. You don't just want to throw your head and be done with it and call it good. So you don't want to practice that either. If you're going to do a scan, do a full-blown scan. If you're going to do a silly scan, skip it. So now I'm going to do it a little bit faster. All right, so obviously that was a little bit faster. What you're going to want to do as you're doing this drill is find your performance envelope. Figure out how quickly you can move and still have an acceptable level of accuracy. What's your goal? Is your goal to hit center mass, or is your goal to just put rounds on a torso-sized target? It's up to you. You're going to need to figure out what's most important to you. But figure out how fast you can go and still make your hits, or still make the size hits that you need. And then from there, what we're going to look at is what's the practical application of this, because you're not going to be running around in a box in a gunfight, but you may need to run for cover. So let's show that. And I'm going to run dry on this one. I don't have a third mag to change into, so it's going to go to slide lock. So in that case, I really didn't lose that much time by going ahead and shooting on the way to cover. That's one of the big arguments about moving and shooting moving and shooting at the same time is, will your accuracy drop so much that it's not worth doing, or will your speed drop so much that you'll be outside of cover for longer than you need it to be? And the answer depends on the shooter. For some people, you can move at full speed and still manipulate your gun, get it into the fight, and put effective rounds down range. For other people, you really don't want to do that. You want to focus on, number one, getting to cover, and then getting your gun into the fight. And it all depends on you, but the way that you figure this kind of stuff out is by practicing at home with dry fire and see how much time does it take to get your gun into the fight. How well can you move and shoot effectively? Can you maintain sight alignment while you're moving at all? If not, what drills do you need to do to make that a reality? But for more high-speed training and tips like this, and you know what, high-speed training is basically doing the fundamentals at a higher speed in more and more difficult conditions. There aren't really high-speed techniques. It's just the fundamentals executed under different circumstances. But for more high-value, high-leverage training techniques that you can use in the comfort of your own home and get more benefit than if you go to a live fire range, go to dryfiretrainingcards.com. Thanks a lot. Ox out.